Is it possible to turn the clock back to 40 again? And if we could, what would it take? And what would be the short and long-term benefits? Greetings, I'm Rick Ward, a retirement coach and inspiring generational influencer at Your Journey Transitions. Join me now as we explore those questions and look at my first step in my 7 steps to 40 again, coming up now. If you've not watched my video, When Is It Time to Retire? Please have a look at that. It gives some context around what I'll be talking, the longevity bonus, and where I come up with this idea of turning the clock back to being 40 again and injecting my longevity bonus into my most productive years and not just doing nothing and they get tacked on to the end. My end when I'm most frail. I would rather reduce that time. So how do I do this? How do I get my mind and body back in the shape of a 40-year-old? What are these 7 steps to 40 again? The first step is mindset, and that's what I'll be talking about in this video. Mindset's everything. The second step is addressing health issues. Third step is to get the body back in shape. Fourth step is to make changes to lifestyle. Fifth step is to evaluate employment options. Sixth step is to set new goals. Seventh step is to take action in all these areas. All the planning in the world doesn't do you a lot of good if you don't take any action. So these are my 7 steps to 40 again, and so we will kick it off with step number 1, mindset. Mindset is absolutely everything. Whether you think you're going to succeed at something or you're going to fail at something, either way you will be correct. What you believe creates your reality. So if you change your mindset, you change your reality. And it's powerful stuff. I've seen this, I've used it myself over the years in many different situations. You need to control your thoughts and really be clear on what you want to achieve. Again, I would like to give some credit to Ken Dykewald. He's a person that really inspired my thinking and my mindset in this area. You can follow him on his YouTube channel or through his website, AgeWave. He's the expert in the field of longevity. There's a few out there, but Ken's work really gets me thinking and greatly affected these 7 steps that I created. And this video series is based on my research, my observations through life, and my experience as a coach in the human service field. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but Ken was, so check out his stuff. And this is more about commentary and my viewpoints of what I'm doing. And then hopefully that will inspire some thinking in yourself, and you can develop your own plan. The whole idea of most of my YouTube videos is to use myself as an example going forward, but it's to inspire your thinking and put everything into your context, because I don't know what your context is. And what's your passion, what's your interest. I just want you to have some informed choices and not just stumble along and deal with issues as they arise. If we can foresee some of those issues, we can put things in place to reduce or alleviate, or the stress for ourselves and our family is greatly reduced. When I celebrated my 50th birthday, there was a lot of joking around about getting old, and 50 is quite a milestone in your life, so you start reflecting, and I'm reflecting back on my life, all the things that I've done, mistakes I've made, achievements. Overall, I was happy with what I had done. It hasn't always been a smooth road, but even the mistakes I made were things that would benefit me in the future, and advice I give to my children and help other people around me. So I was overall happy, but that is the time when my mindset changed. All this reflective, I've always been an optimistic person, always looking to the future, always working towards the future. And this was the first time that it was back reflecting. I've stopped and looked backwards. And my thoughts were more about what I achieved in the past and not what I want to do in the future. And I believe this is what is commonly done by most people. And so this starts the process of aging, starts really accelerating it. Because straight away we start accepting things that we may not have accepted when we were younger. We accept the fact that we're not going to be as fit, we're going to lose muscle tone, we're going to have health-related issues. It's all normal for being 50. And when you see those exceptions, these people who are retirees and they're quite fit, usually think that, oh, they must spend a lot of hours in the gym, or they're on starvation diets. And I mean, who has the inclination to do such things? And I don't have time for that. I'm just going to be like everyone else, and I can look around and find all kinds of examples of this is normal. This is normal to be overweight and to get puffed walking up a flight of stairs. And I'm just going to relax now. I did the hard yakers. My bones are starting to ache, muscles are ache. I just need to take it easy. But I promise you, by taking it easy, if we always, a famous saying I always enjoyed was, if we always do what's easy in life, life will always be hard. And the more we take it easy, the harder our life is going to get. And those ailments that you accept will become more and more. I also noticed it with my friends my own age. Our conversations now, instead we always planned about, what we were going to be doing, the next job, what are our plans? We're going to get a bigger house, we're going to, whatever we want to do, holidays. But now if we talk about holidays, we're looking for ones that are going to be low impact and not very adventurous. Everything's about retirement, everything's about taking it easy and aging and our aches and pains, and we're talking about that. And I found that, even before I had this revelation of being able to do something about it, I thought, this is terrible. This is not how I want to spend my time. It's not how I've done it. But a big part of me accepted that that is reality, and that's what we're all going to accept, and that's the way it works. And when I retired over 10 years ago, a fairly young man, and all my friends that I hung out with were all in their 80s and 90s, and I got to see which ones were really successful at retiring, and other ones who were quite miserable and ill health and stuff like that. And at the time I thought maybe it's genetics, but one key factor did pick up is that everyone had a really positive mindset. They had things to do. They were still thinking forward. They were going to go dancing on Sunday, or they had to do some volunteer work on Thursday. There was always forward planning. There was something in the future. We couldn't be sick today. We couldn't die today because we had to be somewhere next Thursday. And that was a real key. I picked that up back then. Somehow I lost that along the way, and then turning 50 myself, I started to accept all these things and go more with the norm. It could have had something to do with my employment, because when I was out before, I was an entrepreneur, and when I went back into the workforce, I started working with people, mainstream people, and that's basically how people thought and accepted. And I started to kind of overlook that those exceptions were the things that inspired me before. So mindset, that was the key difference between those 85, 90-year-olds who were still active and fit and going out dancing and socializing and enjoying their life, and those 67-year-olds who were quite unhappy with their life and poor health and all those things, and just accepting their lot in life. It wasn't until I was 55 that I came across Ken's work, and it just ignited my imagination, and I really started to see what could happen. So I kind of tested the theories first with my mindset, as I'm doing now, and then closely following behind with the addressing the health issues and physical, and I started seeing results, and they were just little tweaks. There weren't major changes to my life. The attitude was a major change, but as far as getting the body in shape and addressing health issues and stuff, these were small little tweaks, and you can make major changes. What's the saying? Minor tweaks lead to giant peaks, and that's basically what it was. I feel great. I feel younger than I feel better now than I did when I was 40. So it's all quite possible. I really encourage you to follow along in this series as we explore all those points. So along with the new mindset has new beliefs. And so my new beliefs as a born-again 40-year-old, I have at least 20 years left to retirement. And so that's time for a whole new career and a career change. I'm in good physical shape, probably the best I've been in my life. The beliefs that I had at 50 was that my best years were behind me, that I was becoming less socially relevant. I had to accept my physical appearance. Weight gain was normal. Mental vagueness was normal. I would be acquiring age-related illnesses, and I was becoming old. My new beliefs is that I have 20 years to retirement, and that's enough time for a whole new career. I'm still socially relevant. I'm in good physical health. I'm an active participant in society, and my best years are just ahead of me. And to have a truly new mindset, I need to have a strong mental attitude. And that can only come about by learning new things, to realize that I'm still capable of learning. And so I took a personal inventory of all my strengths and weaknesses, and identified that my greatest weakness was around technology. I often depended on my children to sort out my technical issues. Although I knew that this was probably a false belief, because I did learn to use technology in the workplace. So I had the capacity to learn. And so I made a stand then that from that date forward, that I was going to learn how to deal with technology, and I was going to solve all my own technical problems. In the first instance, I did have to ask for a couple lifelines from my younger son, but it didn't take long that I committed to learning new things. I knew I could do it, and so I just had to apply myself. And I surprised myself and my children how quickly I did pick up these things, and it wasn't long as I was dealing with technology issues that they didn't know themselves. So this gave me a great deal of confidence and pushed me forward. So much so I reevaluated. I figured I was going to have another career, and I was very interested in the retirement field and the baby boomers retiring. So I was looking at doing some sort of consultancy business, similar to what I've done before in coaching, but then discovering YouTube and technology. And I thought, well, that's really old way of doing business, and I really got to get ahead of the ball and learn something new. And I was confident that I could learn this thing. And so I set up my own YouTube channel. I learned how to set up my own website, and I'm learning rapidly. Every day I learn something new, and it just motivates me. My mental acuity is much sharper than it's been in a long time. I'm quite eager to get out of bed in the morning, because I know I'm going to learn something new. I'll get my computer out and watch some YouTube videos on making YouTube videos or content around aging. And I learn something technically new every day, and I just love it. So I decided to move away from the traditional business, the business model, and start up a YouTube business model. And this really excited me, because with my traditional model, I could only help the people in my locality. I might be able to sell some courses online or something like that. But YouTube was something where I could provide great content to the whole world, and I could have millions of followers. So it's quite exciting. I can help a lot of people on a grand scale. It didn't take much money to get up and started, far less cost than a traditional business. And I'm really excited about the prospects. I'm not finding a lot of competition in this space, which baffles my mind, because it's such a huge demographic. Everyone's looking at the financial side of retirement, but my sort of niche in this is more about lifestyle and planning and getting the most out of your retirement beyond the financial. Well, there's plenty of people going to help you with how to save your money to get there. I'm hoping to help you what to do with that money more than how to get it. So it's really encouraging that I can make a positive impact on people's lives. And so that just reinforces my mindset and my positive mental attitude. Once your mindset has been expanded, it can never retract, and it's just going to drive me forward and forward on this and give me greater momentum going forward. Once I had this change of mindset established, I just gained momentum, and it kept moving me forward. I no longer felt like I was deteriorating or slowing down. I was inspired and moving forward, and I'm feeling more physically fit and energetic and purpose-driven, far more so than I was when I was 40. So I know this works, and you may have to tweak bits and pieces for yourself on how you achieve these steps. Your steps it might look different than mine, but I think these areas are all areas that need to be addressed if you want that healthy longevity. If you want a new sense of pride and confidence, follow me along in these 7 steps to 40 again. I hope you enjoyed that and found that stimulating, inspired your own thinking around changing your mindset. You change your mindset, you change your reality. It changes your life. I hope you join me in this next video in the series, Step 2, Addressing Your Health Issues. If you're new to this channel, I'd ask you to subscribe. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on any videos, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. You can follow me on Facebook, Your Journey Transitions, and on my website, yourjourneytransitions.com. Till then, this is Rick Ward, your guide through the retirement stages, wishing you an extraordinary retirement.
This is like a cocoon.
What comes out of a cocoon?
Butterflies.
Are butterflies beautiful?
Yeah.